We go to Kenya now, where it's hoped that the country's standard gauge railway line will boost industrialization, but also help to bring in investment along the route. Now, this project was mainly funded by the Chinese, and even though it's got many benefits, it's also been criticized heavily. Here's Ferdinand Omondi with more.
In 2017, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta flagged off Kenya's most expensive government project yet, the new standard gauge railway, which once completed will cost the taxpayer $7 billion. The first half of the project, worth over $3 billion, established a railway line from the Indian Ocean port city of Mombasa to the capital, Nairobi, with the main aim of moving passengers and goods faster and more efficiently than the old railway or the use of road transport. Since its launch, the Mombasa-Nairobi train has been the most popular form of transport between the cities, consistently registering full bookings weekends. At only $10, the train journey is only 5 hours compared to 8 or 10 on the road. Figures from the Transport Ministry suggest the new train moved nearly 4 million passengers in its first 24 months. It is hoped that eventually the standard gauge railway will activate trade along its route, but the real business in the railway lies with cargo transport. The port of Mombasa is the busiest on the East African coast. 20 years ago, it had one container terminal that could hold 250,000 containers. By 2022, the port will be closing in on a capacity of 1.7 million containers. And with that swelling uptake, there came the need for faster transport. Now, this is the loading area for containers which are set to leave the port of Mombasa by the modern train. Now, as soon as that train leaves here, they will be delivered to Nairobi on the same day. Over my shoulder here are the truck services. They also do the same delivery. However, over the same distance, they take anything between 3 days and 1 week. Edward Opio, head of container operations at the port, says the standard gauge railway has been a game changer in the logistics sector.
The SGR is now running more than 55% of traffic passing through the port of Mombasa. That means cargo is direct from the vessel onto the wagon, and within less than 12 hours, all this cargo meant for inland destinations are found at the inland container depot. The old train moved less than 5%. On a good day, maybe on a good period, it did about 10% of cargo. And even in those days, cargo would even land in the yard and take even a month before it is even evacuated.
The increased efficiency of the port services has also meant that container freight services, or CFS, are no longer needed at the port but further inland. This has led to the closure of several businesses in the CFS sector and hundreds of jobs lost. Port authorities say this was inevitable with the changes. The new train system has been operating at a loss. Documents from the Transport Ministry show it incurs an average of $7 million in losses a year. This forced the government to issue a directive to businessmen to use the railway as opposed to road transport, a decision criticized by truck operators and associated businesses in Mombasa.
Transport is an industry in Mombasa. But now when the government brought in a policy that cargoes must only be moved or be ferried by the SGR, that industry is dead. It is dead to an extent that well over 20,000 trucks are lying in the yards. That translates to 20,000 drivers jobless. That translates to 20,000 ton boys jobless. That translates to many mechanics jobless. That translates to the spare business community closing down. It is mayhem.
The state has since suspended the directive, but the friction with the road transport community is still palpable. The government and other stakeholders hope that in the long run, the ambitious project will be of huge benefit to Kenya and East Africa.